take it. And the problem with you, very clearly, is that you're lacking just grounding.
Interesting. So you're saying my root chakra is out of balance?
Frame it or word it however you like for yourself. But
I thought reality was groundless, though.
It is, but as long as you care about living at all as a human, which you probably do, and you don't want to cause a lot of suffering to others and even to yourself, you also have to, keep one foot on the ground.
Interesting. So, okay. So, have you seen Fifth Encounters of the Close Kind?
Maybe I don't know.
So it's a documentary about extraterrestrials.
About UFOs.
Essentially, there's this group of people that they can contact extraterrestrials. They have like video evidence. Like, I mean, it's all there.
I'm familiar.
So essentially, what's happening tomorrow is so what they do, they meditate. So essentially, they just use consciousness. ETs travel through space using consciousness.
I've heard that.
So basically, it's a worldwide meditation. We're channeling extraterrestrials, and it's gonna. I have like a laser pointer and shit that can signal them. And like I've done it before, so I've done these meditations. My spiritual teacher friend Aaron Abke has done these meditations, and essentially, we have like extraterrestrial spaceships have like shown up. So I believe that if we can get like a huge group of people doing it, there could be some alien encounters. That's kind of the plan.
Yeah, I mean, okay, go, have fun, whatever. That's fine. I have no objection to that. My primary concern at this point is the fact that you're continuing to use these substances and you're not understanding how problematic this could be.
So, have you ever experimented with microdosing ayahuasca?
No.
So you should try it out. Yeah, I mean, it's actually a life's cheat code. It's cheap. It's free.
I did 30 days of 5-MeO-DMT. By the end of those 30 days, I was so high that I stopped even taking it in the last few days, and I was still high. I couldn't even sleep.
Exactly.
Because I was high in my sleep. Because
it's 5-MeO-DMT. Ayahuasca is differently because it travels through your entire system. It activates your chi energy, and you get used to it. I used to not be able to sleep on it. Now I sleep on it fine.
Look, dude, you're losing touch with consensual reality, and you're behaving in erratic ways, and it's going to cause problems for you, just if only socially.
So, Leo,
right? You got to appreciate that what you're doing here is that you're not just flying in the clouds. You're also part of a community. You're part of a society. There's a legal system in place. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on here, which is at play.
Leo,
and you have to be careful. And there's also, you also have to appreciate it. If you don't care about your own life, you also have to appreciate that there are a lot of young, impressionable people who watch you, and you have a lot of reach and influence on them, and they take what you say and how you act. They take you as a role model.
That is true.
They might get an idea that this is something that they need to do.
Right.
And then even if you manage to, let's say you manage to pull it all off, that doesn't mean they're going to pull it off. They can do something really stupid. They can overdose. They can drop off a balcony or whatever. And these things happen, which is why it has to be done very carefully.
I understand. I have a question. Do you know that I fasted for 40 days?
That's what I've heard.
It was very interesting. I actually wrote a book. I wrote like a 150-page book during that 40 days, and I think I should release it. I might send it to you, but essentially, I have past life memories. I incarnated here from the Lyra constellation. That is 100% true. It was Connor Murphy's ayahuasca trip last year. I'm a fifth dimensional being. It's not that hard to understand if you think about.
I'll tell you one more thing. That not only are you having grounding issues, also you're falling into, even when you're going into these higher realms, you're still falling into delusions.
Interesting. Isn't it all relative, though? What actually is a delusion? Isn't reality just what you make it to be?
Yes, but you're precisely making reality to be your own personal, fantasy.
Yes, exactly. That's what the fun of it. It's a paracosm.
Right, but you're not some alien.
So why do you not believe I'm an alien?
Because you're God.
That's true.
Because I know what you are. You're not an alien.
Right.
Alien is some finite identity that you concocted.
Okay, that's true. Okay, you're very true about that. Absolutely, yes. But
look, man.
Okay.
I mean, I have no problem with you doing your alien stuff. I mean, go for it. Just do it in a way that's safe and responsible, and that doesn't, cause a bunch of outrage and a bunch of publicity problems for me and for my community.
Okay.
And also that doesn't get the people who are part of your community, because you have your own community, which is different from mine. That I mean, you have to be very sensitive about the public image that this spiritual stuff takes on. We as a society have had a very big problem with awakening people simply because of all of the abuses, corruptions, and shenanigans and antics that have gone on for the last 2,000 years within religion and New Age circles and spiritual cults and sex guru cults and rapes and abuses and God knows what else, and just lies and deceptions and making things look so crazy and ridiculous that normal, sane, and responsible people then have no interest of doing anything with spirituality because of the kind of stereotypes, the negative stereotypes that they see, the kind of reputation that is created.
That is true. I have a question. So, okay, on the off chance, because obviously, reality is pretty wild. On the off chance that everything I'm saying is correct, and that I'm actually building a giant kingdom, and it's going to be like the new kingdom of heaven, golden age bullshit. And essentially, Texas is seceding from the union. The government is in on it. Blah 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 blah. Fiat currency collapses. Government collapses. Will you be the prime minister of my monarchy?
No, I'm not. Do not involve me in your plans.
Okay, okay. If you change your mind, let me know. You'll be compensated in Dogecoin. Actually, so I'm actually created. I'm working on creating the three cryptocurrencies. The Holy Trinity is going to be Connor Murphy coin, Jake Paul coin. I'm collaborating with Jake Paul. He's in on it, and essentially we're going to create three different cryptocurrencies, and I'm going to rule the world with it. I don't know if you're interested in investing in cryptocurrency. I got you.
No, thank you.
Okay, all good. I know that you make a lot of money off of your other shit, and that you're really interested in your book. I have an idea. So reality is progressing like infinitely quickly, like it's exponential growth, right? So by the time you write your lifelong book, you won't even be using it. Writing is like old school, you know what I mean? I would do some it's almost like you could compile your videos into an audiobook. Like transcribe shit, right? Instead of just trying to write the book, like you just talk. So essentially tomorrow I'm writing I'm doing for 5 hours and 55 minutes, I'm just like writing a book. You know, I'm like just talking about shit. You know what I mean? I think there's a more efficient way to go about it, because that would be really cool if we could get like something for tomorrow for the Great Awakening. I don't know. Just a thought. But again, I have not been to the high levels of consciousness like through your 5-MeO DMT trips. I'm only fooling around with the silly ayahuasca. So I'm not going to act like I know what I'm talking about.
Look, the problem is not the ayahuasca. The problem is that fundamentally, when you came into it, you were not a grounded individual.
Okay.
Right. So you still have a lot of development work to do. You have a lot of maturity left to actualize. And so you went very deep with the ayahuasca, and now you're over-consuming it, but you're not interested in actually doing the grounding work, the foundational stuff, to ground yourself in reality, to discipline yourself, and to be responsible. And you're just kind of like having fun with this whole thing, and you're kind of letting loose.
Isn't that cool though? Like, wouldn't anything else be like some restricted form of the ego?
No, because these restrictions and limitations have a value in them. They exist for a reason. It's not just squares who follow the rules. The rules are there for a reason, because when you don't follow the rules, it can hurt you and lots of other people.
That's true. Oh, I want you to think about this. So, in the infinite reality, wouldn't it make sense for you to be absolutely fucking mind blown? You know what I mean? Like, there's something missing from reality right now. Like, it's cool, but like obviously, like everyone's still searching for shit, right? I mean, what if there really was some mystical, mind-blown experience, and that's kind of the whole joke, you know what I mean? Like, you're going through this awakening shit, you think it's gonna take 1,000,000 fucking years, and then boom, it just happens. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah, it happens. And so, what's your point?
No, I'm saying, like, I think that, like, prepare to be mind-blown, because that's what reality does, it mind-blows you. Like, it's not...
It does mind-blow you, but then you also have to come back to Earth, and you gotta, like, chop wood, carry water, do the laundry, and just be a normal human, too.
Right. So, but what if part of the mind fuckery was that paradigm that you're stuck in, that you have to like snap back to reality, and that you can't just live in infinite consciousness forever? You know what I mean? What if it's a giant mind fuck? And what if you can? What if you can get there?
Like, yeah, if you want, you could completely lose your mind, and you can be a crazy person, and you can run around naked on the streets, and the police will, corral you at some point, and then they'll put you in a crazy hospital, and then the doctors will keep you there. I mean, yeah, you could do that, and you could even say that I don't care about any of that.
So,
and then you can do that, and then you can do that. But then you're gonna be locked in a fucking hospital, and then, or maybe you'll get injured or whatever.
Right. So, would you rather be in a state of psychosis, but you were blissfully happy, or live in like the real world and like be like normal? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think those are the only two options.
Absolutely not. But
I think what you're overlooking is the traditional path that any quality traditional spiritual teacher will teach you, which is that you pursue your awakening, all of that is good, you have your mystical experiences, but then you're also responsible, and you integrate those things, and then you ground yourself in being a healthy human being who is a functioning member of society, and is not, doing irresponsible things and perhaps hurting others and yourself.
see, so I'm not really sure what people don't like about my life. Everyone thinks they're like, ooh, like, so I have more friends and better relationships.
People are worried about you. A lot of my community is worried about you. Well,
yeah, but whose fault is that? It's their fucking fault. It's their mind. Like, I can't change it's their perception. It's their worry. That's what they're trying to fix.
Of course it is. But do you understand why people are worried about you?
Oh, yeah, no, I understand. I have empathy and compassion, absolutely.
Right, but they're worried that you might do something to harm yourself or to harm others.
Correct.
And perhaps mislead others. And
okay.
How do you expect people in a society to react to you?
So here's the thing. Seriously, do you think
people are just gonna kind of like go along with all your antics forever, and there's not going to be any friction because of this?
Well, I have a question for you. Is suicide bad?
In the absolute sense, nothing is bad.
Right.
And suicide doesn't even exist.
Exactly.
But in the relative sense, and you still do care about the relative sense, I would suggest.
Okay.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing all of your antics.
Right.
And publishing your videos and doing your community calls and these things. Because if you truly didn't care about those things, you wouldn't be doing them. So obviously you're doing them for somebody. That means you even believe that these people are real for whom you're doing these things.
Right.
Otherwise, who are you even talking to and why?
No, exactly,
so
yes.
Obviously you find meaning in these things.
Yes.
And as long as you do, then you're part of a community, you're doing social activity. It's not like you're alone in a cave just by yourself. If you were just in a cave by yourself, starving yourself to death, I would say don't do that, but still, if you want to do it, go ahead. But you're not doing that. You're playing a very highly social role. It's not just that you have a little group of 5 people that you're doing this with. You're doing this with hundreds, thousands of people, and you're affecting my community as well. So you're not just doing it alone. You're even dragging me and others who I don't know who else you're dragging into this.
So do you think that Jesus actually died and rose from the dead? Because
I have no idea.
So what if I told you that I have, through biblical evidence, understood exactly how Jesus faked his death?
You've told me that before. I've heard your theories.
Right. So the idea is that I'm trying to do another stunt like that.
Yeah, and I think that's a bad idea.
Okay. So, but you can.
I don't know. I don't know why you need these stunts.
I want to.
The problem is that you still have a lot of ego left, and it's co-opting and taking over these mystical experiences and truthful insights, and then it's combining with your old, pre-spiritual ego, your pickup ego and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it's combining into this very unhealthy mix.
So what if though, like, what is that?
I think you honestly probably have some mental issues too. I don't know. Are you bipolar? You've been diagnosed with with bipolar and other sorts of conditions?
They diagnosed me with, they couldn't decide. They said it was either bipolar or drug-induced psychosis. But as you know, psychologists don't really understand the mind like they think that they do.
Of course they don't, but still, if you do have, I mean, even before you started doing ayahuasca or that, did you have manic episodes, bipolar?
Oh, no. Before psychedelics, no. And I've never, this is the thing, I can't be manic depressive because I've never come down. Like, I've never gone into a depressive state since. So since I started, like, doing psychedelics, never got into a depressive state. So the last depression I had was, like, years ago in LA, before I started meditating. After I started meditating, I've never been in a depressive state, so I'm on a constant high. Right, so it can't be manic depressive. It can only be manic. But like, what's bad if you're only manic? You know, I don't know. It seems great to me.
Well, you might discover what's bad about it.
Yeah.
If you keep going down this road, so just be careful because you might do something you'll regret.
But like,
it's important that when you're having these mystical breakthroughs and so forth, whether with psychedelics or even not, they tell you this at any serious meditation retreat. They'll warn you that you have to be careful. When you're coming back from a meditation retreat, they'll tell you that don't make any rash decisions. Don't do any giant stunts or moves. Give yourself time to integrate insights, to ground yourself. They even tell you things like, be careful because when you come back home, you might lash out at your wife or at your girlfriend, or you might want to get a divorce or quit your job or tell your boss to go fuck himself. And just, don't do those things. Make sure you come back down to earth first from your meditation stage, and then you can make some sober decisions rather than living your life from this high.
Okay, so what are some decisions that have not been good on my part?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I can tell you from my point of view, what has not been good is what you've been doing on my community, which is doing a bunch of sensationalist, clickbait, antic type stuff, riling up my community, creating distractions for people. This is not what the work is about. This is not going to help people to awaken. You acting like a mystic madman, maybe it feeds your soul or whatever, and you're happy with that. But that's not going to happen if you're serious about helping people awaken. That's not going to help normal people awaken.
So you don't think like me talking about me being from Lyra and having past life memories, you don't think that could expand people's minds? You don't think it's useful?
No, well, I think that'll actually close a lot of people's minds.
Interesting, okay.
As soon as you start saying that, people start saying this guy's a lunatic.
Right.
And even people, and not just material people, but or scientific people, but even serious spiritual people will be turned off by that, because that is not how serious spiritual teachers or gurus of meditation retreats are conducted. You don't, go up there and do crazy antics and tell them about your alien heritage and this sort of stuff. Because look, the people who are serious about awakening, they have to do serious work. Mm-hmm. When you start telling them all these stories about UFOs and this and that and Dogecoin and millions of dollars and sex and how tantric everything is and this, they start fantasizing about this stuff. This gets infected in their mind, and then this is what they start thinking it's about, and they stop meditating, and then they chase you, and they're sensationalized and distracted with this material.
Interesting. So what do you suggest I do differently?
Well, that's for you to figure out. I mean, you do what you want to do. Just, first of all, don't drag me and my community, my brand into it. Second of all...
So why shouldn't we unite into one, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, why do you want to have this separation?
Because I have a very different teaching style, very different values and principles than you. But, and I have a certain brand that I'm maintaining. No,
but I'm saying, like, isn't that the point of reality, to join into one?
No, not in that way.
Interesting.
It's not supposed to become one giant blob.
Are you familiar with the
People have their own agendas, and people have their own styles and differences, and those need to be respected and honored. I'm not trying to force myself on you. I'm not trying to, create videos about how you're doing things wrong and that you need to stop and do it the way I do it. I'm just saying, don't do that to me.
Okay, so I go off some stuff. Do you know what the raw material is? Like
Yes, I know what it is.
So, okay. So essentially, that's kind of how reality works, is as you progress up the consciousness, is like so essentially like the next step is we form a social memory complex where essentially the entire mind is one. We still maintain our sense of individuality, but we all think the exact same. That's what
Look, it's not going to happen, all right? Not in this lifetime.
right, but eventually that's what but there's something about like infinite. So you know how technology increases at an exponential rate. So like the last 5 years, it's like 20 years of technological growth. The previous 20 years, that's the same that can happen with consciousness. So once it reaches a certain point, it's like an infinite, like exponential curve to infinity, and that's what's been happening to me. It's been wild, and that's what's going to happen to the Earth. I mean, I want you to think about it, right? Like, if there's some crazy truth out there, do you have any idea how fast it gets spread with the internet these days? With an infinite Zoom call, with a Zoom call with everyone on it, that's what's happening tomorrow.
Man, you're a guy. From what I understand, your personality structure is such is that you're very optimistic, and so you don't look at any of the downsides of things. You're just looking only at the upside of things.
Yes.
And that's not how I think. That's not my style. And some people are like you in that sense. The problem is that you're taking ayahuasca so much that it's sort of like all the brakes are off. Right? It's like you're in a fast car, and you're just keep pushing the pedal, and saying, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. And then you even throw out the brake, and you refuse to use the brake, and then what happens is a crash.
Interesting. When is the crash?
I don't know. It's up to you. Depends on what you do, how crazy you are, and how you handle things.
So
I recommend that the first thing you do is you take your foot off the pedal with the ayahuasca.
Interesting.
That will immediately. That's the most important thing that's going to change your situation and allow you to ground yourself. I mean, what is the problem with not stop taking it and go back and do some of the fundamentals? Do some fundamentals of just like meditation, daily life, and you can still teach or talk about whatever you want. You don't have to stop doing that, but also just kind of like learn to operate without the ayahuasca, and take time to integrate, because you've had profound experiences and insights. Take time to integrate. Sometimes between deep trips, I will take 6 months.
Wow.
I will take 3 months. The first few times I did, my largest dose of 5-MeO that I did was like 30 milligrams. This was a few years back, probably 3 years ago. It was probably my most craziest experience. It was so radical and so even physically traumatizing to me. I didn't take it again for a whole year. It took me that long to integrate it.
So essentially what I'm doing is like microdosing, so I can't trip anymore. Actually, I can take as much as I want and I can't trip. That's the wacky part. Remember how I told you DMT doesn't affect me like it used to? So essentially what happens is DMT...
Well, if it doesn't affect you, then you shouldn't have a problem stopping the microdosing.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, it doesn't affect me like it normally. It doesn't make me trip. It makes me more aware. So essentially, like, it's like the most epic cup of green tea you could ever have. It's essentially just the best nootropic, right? So that's kind of how it works for me. So it's making me a genius.
And that's fine. And maybe even there's some legitimate use of that you are pioneering, and maybe in the future you'll be able to share that method with people in a healthy and responsible way.
Okay.
But I think for your own sake, you should back off.
No, interesting. No,
because it's just the way you behave is very erratic. Looking at it from the outside, I'm not sure if you're aware of that.
So there's not a
how you look to others from the outside. So
you don't feel like there's some fear in you, right? That's why you're afraid of the erraticism and the chaos, because you're operating out of fear instead of love?
It's not a matter of fear, it's a matter of caution. So there's a distinction that you should make between the two.
Okay.
You can be afraid of something from some emotionally reactive place, and that you could say is not good or not conscious or whatever. But then there's just also, that doesn't mean that now you open yourself up to stupidity and you are just like, you're so unafraid that you just walk off a cliff or something, or that now, you throw the gas, the brake, you saw the brake pedal out of your car because you're not afraid of crashing. That would be an example of a lack of caution and foolishness.
Okay, no, I understand.
So, pressing the brake when you're driving on the highway and there's cars in front of you, pressing the brake, you could say, well, that's just fear. No, it's not fear. It's caution, and it's also necessary for a smooth functioning of your life and society.
Okay.
And if you want to call that fear, you can call it that, but I mean, the fear is not... Why is the fear there in the first place? It's there to protect you. That's the function of fear.
Interesting. Okay.
It's to keep you from doing foolish things that you might otherwise do. Same thing with pain. Pain is there to keep you from harming yourself.
Right.
People who don't feel pain, they die very quickly. You know, there's a disease that some people actually have. It's a neurological disorder where people are born with an inability to feel pain.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happens to these people? They die by the age of 15, most of them.
Yeah, but then
because they end up cutting off their fingers or burning their hand, and they don't even know that they've cut their finger off because they don't feel it. Even if they feel it, they say, "Well, I mean, so what? It doesn't hurt."
Is it worth worrying about this shit, or should we just accept, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it is worth. It's worth being strategic and careful with how you plan and live your life. As long as you care at all about having a decent life.
But, like, isn't it just all perspective? Like, who says it's a decent life?
If you're okay with crashing and burning, then, I mean, that's what'll happen to you. And if you're okay with that, then go for it. But I would suggest you're not okay with it. Even if you think you are, I think you'd be fooling yourself. And also, there's a lot of people who care about you and even rely upon you and take you as a role model. So it's an example to set for others.
Yeah, I see. I have kind of developed a mind that is pretty content under any circumstance. I said clean the inside of the cup, and then the outside will be clean.
But if you're content with any circumstance, then you should be content without ayahuasca.
And Oh, no, absolutely. Like, I would be content without it. It's just, it makes me a little bit sharper, and I'm kind of pulling off a big plan. So it's essentially like a bodybuilder taking protein. Like, of course...
I think it makes you sloppier, not sharper.
Interesting. Okay. So there's going to be a great awakening tomorrow. When you see it happening...
all right, and what are you going to do if it doesn't happen? What then?
I will keep trying, because failure...
Okay, right. But are you going to then admit to yourself that you've been fooling yourself?
No, because I think, like, optimism is the way to go.
Already, right there is the whole problem, is that you're living in delusions of grandeur, and even when they are contradicted by reality, and the things you believe are going to happen, don't happen, and so forth, you just ignore them and keep pushing forward as though reality is not sending you a signal that you've got some wrong ideas.
Right, but like...
So if you want to do this properly, then by all means, write down on a piece of paper that tomorrow I think X, Y, Z is going to definitely happen. And then write down, if it doesn't happen, that means that I was fooling myself, and that means I have to stop and pause and reevaluate my attitude towards reality and towards truth, because I was being foolish, and I was deceiving myself, and I was operating under falsehood, and this is not the right way to do spiritual work.
Interesting.
So are you willing to do that?
Yeah, okay, so let me make a prediction. I'm going to make
that means you have to change your behavior. That means you can't keep doing the delusions anymore.
Okay, so here's a prediction. So basically, I believe that we will get 1 million people on a Zoom call, 1 million viewers at once, 1 million concurrent viewers. We're going to have Joe Rogan there because he lives in Austin. He's going to announce it. He's going to be DJing. And essentially, I'm going to say we're going to have like 1,000 people at Zilker Park partying. That's about it. You think that's delusional, or could that happen?
It's all about you. Whatever you think.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not the judge. You be your own judge is what I'm telling you.
I like it.
Whatever you think is going to happen, write it down, and then when it doesn't happen, then be honest with yourself.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. I'll do that.
And then change your behavior and change your beliefs. But maybe change your attitude towards things.
So this is wild. This is kind of meta.
Truthful.
What if I actually just became content with being wrong? And so, like...
You were telling me, when was it? Back during the turn of the year, that something or other was going to happen at the end of the year. I don't know, even remember what it was anymore. Some Great Awakening thing. What happened? Where is it?
What?
Nothing happened.
Exactly. Yeah, I made a wrong prediction.
Exactly. So what? So and you have not changed anything about your worldview since then. You're still fundamentally doing the same thing, except you've switched the date from last year now to tomorrow. And then when tomorrow doesn't happen, you're going to switch it to next week and so forth.
But did you see the prediction that did come true?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Okay, so there's one prediction that came true, and I filmed it, and it was pretty...
A broken clock is right twice a day. That means nothing.
Okay, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, okay.
That's what I mean about being honest with yourself. You have to hold your own feet to the fire of truth and reality. Otherwise, you're living in fantasies. And then you're just adjusting your fantasies to correct for old fantasies, and then you just keep doing that, and eventually your fantasies and falsehoods will catch up with you.
Have you heard?
You cannot live a life of fantasy and lie. Eventually, reality will slap you in the face.
Okay, so what about this? Have you heard the whole U.S. Open thing, the golf thing?
No.
Okay, so essentially, because I am taking the ayahuasca, I have the neuroplasticity of a child with the wisdom of an adult, so I can learn everything super fast. So I learned how to like sing in like 0 time. I learned how to do a lot of shit. And I've been playing golf. I played golf in college. I was a college golfer, and now I am the best golfer in the world, and I'm going to win the U.S. Open unequivocally. I've been shooting in the 20s on 9 holes, the 50s on 18 holes, and it's not even going to be close. I am completely winning the U.S. Open by like a lot, and it's going to help spread the word of enlightenment. Is that grandiose?
Yes, it's grandiose, it's delusional, it's stupid, and moreover, it speaks to the fact that that this has absolutely nothing to do with enlightenment. It's not going to help anyone to get enlightened.
So I don't understand.
Doing crazy antics just for the sake of publicity is not how you awaken the world, if you actually care about that, which I don't think you really do.
I mean, eventually, though, something has to go viral, you know what I mean, to get everyone to know?
The problem is not that everyone doesn't know. The problem is that people think it's crazy, and the way you're making it look is only feeding into that.
I mean, don't people think what you say is crazy, like how you're God and shit, you know what I mean? How do you deal with that?
Exactly. They do. Some people do, but at least a few people don't. And that's how we move the world forward, is a few people at a time.
Yeah, so I have a cult of like...
You're trying to make awakening mainstream or something. You're trying to spread it to the masses. And the problem is that it's such a radical thing that most people cannot think about it, tolerate it, or do it properly. And so what's going to happen is that a lot of people are going to get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, yeah.
Create your sensationalist fads of whatever.
Yeah. So 100%. So it's not like gonna be completely like clean. I mean, I'm sure there will be some fatalities. I mean, when people realize that think about it, right? If everyone realized,
it's not just that it's bad, there's gonna be a few people hurt, like in any big endeavor. It's gonna be that it's gonna turn into a complete shit show. Have you seen the documentary about Osho and his commune in Oregon? Yeah,
I think I'm doing things a little better, but like, I understand. It's not going to be like, nobody said it was easy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's not easy. What I'm saying is that what you're going to do is you're going to create a shit show, and you're going to get yourself and others into a lot of trouble and suffering.
Okay, so here's the thing.
And very few people are going to awaken from that process. And in fact, it's going to set back the awakening community. Because that's going to take up all the oxygen. You see, I have to compete with people like you who are doing clickbait and other stupid shit, and when I'm doing just regular kind of sober teachings, and then you know.
So that
how am I supposed to teach people when you're out there creating all these distractions and all this drama?
Right, exactly. See, you're acting like you're trying to compete with people when it's one truth, so why don't you join with people?
I'm not trying to compete with you, but the reality is that we live in a community and people react to the most sensational, dramatic stuff, and you know that, and you exploit that. And this is not a good thing.
So, what... Okay, I apologize. So, basically, I have a really large... Like, in my Telegram group, in my Discord group, and like on the Zoom calls, we have like thousands and thousands of people, and I have a feeling that they're going to be on your site because I told them that like we should join forces, so there might be a little bit of like drama, but like I see it as good, right? I like embrace this shit. I feel like you can't devolve in like to ignorance. Like it's just a constant evolution towards enlightenment. You know what I'm like however it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen exactly how it is. You know what I mean? It's like this infinite algorithm. It's not like we have really any free will right now.
You are doing it, so you can stop doing it.
I can.
I don't care what you do with your, ultimately, I don't care what you do with your work, with your business, or with your community, but do not be sending your people to my community. Do not be aggravating or triggering or creating drama and distractions for my people.
Okay, it is the same.
And for my brand. And stop dragging me into your antics. If you're going to do your antics, do them yourself.
It is the same truth though, right? So like we're teaching the same thing, right?
You do not have a right to drag me into the crazy stuff that you're doing.
But aren't we the same thing anyway? So I'm not really dragging you. It's just kind of weird, like the same thing.
No, we're not the same thing in that way.
Interesting. You don't think that there's a reason that we're talking right now? Like God is communicating with Himself? You don't think like this is all part of the awakening? You know what I mean? Like
the reason I'm talking to you is because I'm concerned about your well-being.
Right. I think it's all part of.
And that's what a responsible person would do, rather than joining in with your antics.
So everything's just part of the awakening process, right? Everything is to learn, right? So you learn from everything. So this is actually just part of awakening. You know what I mean? Like we're spitballing. It's like God knowing itself. We're spitballing ideas off each other and helping us learn.
Part of awakening. That doesn't mean that I'm going to join you in your Holocaust.
No, yeah. I'm not saying, but like I don't know. I see this as pretty positive. I see everything as positive. I see, well, like when you see reality.
The problem is that with that attitude, you see the Holocaust as positive.
Exactly.
So, right. So, but I'm not going to join you in your Holocaust, and you have no rights to do a Holocaust, and I'm not going to support you in your Holocaust. And,
And there's a difference between like promoting something and loving it, though. You know what I'm saying? Like you love the Holocaust, right? Because it led us to where we are today and gave us some cool truths and insights and stuff like that, right?
But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actions I'm taking with my work and the actions you're taking with your work. The question here is not about what happened. It's about what you're going to do.
Okay.
The stuff that you control. We don't control the Holocaust. It is what it is. But you do control what you tell your followers. You do control what you post on my forum and all of this sorts of stuff. And whether you drag my brand into whatever you're talking about and the things that you put into the minds of your followers, you control that. You need to be responsible about that. And right now, you're not being responsible. And in fact, you're being very disrespectful to my work when you do these things.
I think the work is so powerful. How could it possibly be disrespected? It's just pure truth from the Godhead.
It's disrespected, and you're doing a good job of it.
Oh, interesting.
Somehow you managed to find a way.
Huh. Well, I will try and spread the truth in the most efficient way possible. And you are giving me some new ideas. So I think that
spread the truth.
Right.
Without infringing and impinging upon the agenda and prerogatives of other people. Right? You know, I'm not banging down your door and trying to speak for you and putting words in your mouth and telling your followers what to do, or sending my followers to trash you. Don't do that kind of stuff. Because if you did that, I'd have a sort of a sense of where your boundaries are and where my boundaries are. And these boundaries are there.
Yeah, I got you. My boundaries are a little different. Like if you did that to me, I treat people the way I'd like to be treated, right? So if you did that shit to me, I'd love it because I'm like all in for the drama because it's a grand play.
Maybe, but that doesn't mean that that's what I want.
Yeah, no, I understand, yeah.
Just because you might like to get raped by a woman does not mean that you have the right to go rape women.
Right, well that'd be slightly different because it'd be a different perspective. It'd be more like if you want to be raped by a man, then it'd be okay to rape him, like something like that. But no, I mean, the golden rule, you could.
In that case, it's not okay. Even if you wanted to get raped by a man, it's not okay for you to go around raping men.
Yeah, I mean, there are always like exceptions to shit, but in general.
Want it, and most people don't want it.
Exactly.
Likewise, just because you might like me doing antics does not mean I like you doing antics.
Yeah.
in my community.
I'm just saying the golden rule, like treat people the way you would like to be treated. Like if everyone did that, I think things would work out. Like there are always exceptions. Like some psycho serial killer could say, "Oh, I want to die. Like I want someone to kill me, so I kill someone else." Like I'm Stewie Griffin. I'm taking over. Like no, yeah, I get it, but like no. But in general, I think the golden rule is good.
I'm telling you how I want to be treated. I want my work to be taken seriously. I have an issue as it is already with people calling me a cult leader.
Yeah.
With people demonizing my brand. I get death threats.
So Leo, why don't you just?
I had to hide the address of my house. I had to go through hoops just to hide the address of my house because I get death threats. Right?
Yeah.
So for me, this is serious stuff, and I'm not going to be playing antics and games about this.
So yeah, we're kind of the opposite. I actually gave away my address today. The cops showed up and shit like that. We are very different people. Yeah, I tend to
listen to what I want. What I want is I want you to respect my boundaries and respect the boundaries of my community, my brand, and to stop impinging on that. And as long as you stop doing that, then you do whatever you want. And I hope you stay safe and have a good life.
Okay, I definitely
I hope you don't tarnish the image of spirituality as a whole, and specifically psychedelics. There's also a separate issue about psychedelics. It is bad enough to tarnish spirituality, but also the psychedelic community, people are notoriously irresponsible with their use of psychedelics. And this is something that I've also spoken out against as well. And this creates problems for me too, because I speak about psychedelics. I like recommending psychedelics to people because of how powerful I know they are and how transformative they are. But then when people like you start acting out, I've already received backlash just even from some of my own people on my forum about how Leo is bad for recommending psychedelics because look at what Connor is doing and look at all this crazy stuff and he's recommending you do this and look at what happens when you recommend psychedelics to irresponsible people.
Yeah, no, I understand. Have you do you know who Aaron Apke is, the spiritual teacher?
And don't even forget about the legal problems as well.
Yeah, ayahuasca is completely legal.
The more you start acting out in this way, and the more vocal you are about these things, and the more people you get to join you in this stuff, don't forget that you're going to start to get serious legal problems.
Yeah, so
they might simply come and arrest you for the shit that you're doing.
So ayahuasca is completely legal. You buy it on a store online.
Yeah, you might say that, but that doesn't mean that they're going to agree with you. That still doesn't mean that they're going to arrest you and put you in a jail cell for a month, for a year, while they adjudicate that.
The law is relatively objective.
The law is not objective. The law
relatively
has many gray areas, and the fact is that when you start acting in a socially irresponsible manner and people are getting hurt, that's when the law will start to take you seriously, and they will look for every excuse. It might not even be a psychedelic issue. It might be a tax issue or whatever other thing you're doing in your life that they could, that they could catch you on, like a speeding ticket or whatever. They'll find a way.
So I don't. It is really tough for me to. I can't wrap my head around how you don't see how you are operating out of so much fear. You're afraid of all these death threats. You're giving away your motherfucking power.
It's caution.
No. You're afraid of these death threats, right? Like, who cares? Like, let people kill you. You're a fucking god. You're gonna respawn. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an experience.
Because I'm doing something. I have some sort of project that I'm working on. If I had nothing to do, then yeah, I wouldn't care. But I have an investment in something.
Ah, interesting. But then again, doesn't that mean that you're just attached to it if it's causing you to act out of fear?
Look, I'm not a madman like you that's willing to just let anything, whatever, willy-nilly happen to me.
Yeah, I know.
I have a specific agenda and a specific goal that I'm working towards, that I've been working for over 10 years towards. And the reason that you even might know about DMT and some of the other things is because I might have told you about it.
Oh, yeah.
From me.
By the way, I really appreciate it. I've learned obviously a shit ton
from you. The only way that happens is when I spend 10 years diligently planning these things out and structuring them such that they're possible at all. And I have a lot more work of that left to do. I'm not done with that work. I have a book to write. I have hundreds of videos to release. I have new psychedelic substances that I've discovered and nobody even knows about yet. That you don't even know about.
Yeah, that's sick. So
that I need to share with people. So for me, you know, jumping off a balcony or getting arrested or something like this, yes, this is a problem. I avoid these things.
No,
Or higher purposes, because I have a higher purpose that I'm working towards. It's not just because I'm afraid of personal suffering.
no, yeah, I get it totally. But yeah, no.
If you have any kind of material goals, including teaching goals, like if you truly, genuinely care about helping people to awaken, then you have to also care about managing those material conditions in life that will allow you to achieve those goals. Now, if you say you have no goals whatsoever, and you don't care about anything at all, well then, fine. But that's not me. That's not most people. And then I would also say that you're full of shit, because you do have goals.
Oh, speaking of that, so how's your health, like your gut shit going?
It's going.
So this is actually, just look this up. I'm not even gonna say I do it, because if I said I did it, you won't do it. But look this shit up. Look up urine therapy, and then look up eating your own feces, because it's like a vaccine. So essentially, you intake the feces, and the bacteria are attenuated bacteria, and it is a perfect vaccine. It's just like taking a motherfucking vaccine. People have been doing it since ancient times. That's why dog eats the shit when they are sick. I would look that up, because I think that could cure you in a week, but I could be wrong. I've known to be grandiose.
All right, look, man. I think we've discussed as much as
no.
we can in terms of the what I wanted to communicate to you. I think I have. We're going to be wrapping up here soon.
Yeah. No. Absolutely, dude. I really appreciate. This is more than I could have asked for.
I would encourage you to lay off the ayahuasca and just sit down for a few hours and seriously contemplate some of the things that I've said, rather than going further into your grandiose visions and things. Because I've told you some things that I think you need to seriously consider. If you don't want to consider them, that's your prerogative. I can't force you. But at the very least, please stop dragging me into whatever antics you're engaged in, or your visions, or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And that is that. I don't have any hard feelings against you or anything. I think you're behaving irresponsibly in an immature way.
No, yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
And it ends up hurting my brand.
Yeah, I feel you. It's definitely not my intention.
Whatever happens to you, people will blame me for it.
Yeah, so remember...
If you end up killing yourself, I'm going to have a huge fucking problem on my hands. Mm-hmm. Because people will definitely blame me for it for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't like having that power over you, man. I wish you would take back your power and stop acting like a motherfucking victim. Like, the victim mentality, Leo. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could take back your power at any time. No one has power over you. It's all in your motherfucking mind.
Look, man, you've lost it.
Yeah, no, I understand. But dude, thank you for all the insights. I will do my best to spread the truth in the most efficient way. And remember, you have taught me so much. I have essentially...
Not in the most efficient way. Spread it in a responsible way.
Okay. And just remember, my intentions are never to hurt your brand, because you've taught me so much, right? You are kind of like...
Man, the path to hell is paved with good intentions. So
yeah.
Your intentions alone are not enough. You also have to check yourself in terms of reality.
Okay.
Because you have good intentions, but then your mind is filled with delusions of grandeur.
Interesting. Okay, yeah. So I'll check that too. I will definitely take... I can promise you I will take a break from the ayahuasca, because I think that's a great idea. And then, yeah, man, I'll do some contemplation and stuff. Yeah. But I really appreciate, I always love these conversations with you, man. That's reality is my favorite thing, so I enjoy talking about it with conscious individuals.
And also, do not manipulate me with threats of suicide as well.
Oh, yeah. So, usually when I talk about death, it's like psychological shit. But, yeah, I am...
And don't play games with me.
I am faking my death, though. But I'm telling everyone I'm faking my death. And some people are still going to believe it. But I'm pulling off one more story that, is that okay, for me to fake my death, but I tell people it's fake, it's like acting, it's like a play, it's like a movie?
No, it's not okay. It's stupid. It's just fucking stupid. What you're doing is just downright stupid. It's not going to help anybody.
Interesting.
I don't know why you're doing it. It's a waste of creative energy. You could take, if you ground yourself and you get serious about this, you could take the energy that you have and the resources you have and the finances and the social connections and the following, and you could actually help people in a serious way. What you're doing now is it's like you have a fire hose and you're just spraying it all over the fucking place, everywhere, and nothing productive is getting done with it.
So, do you think if I is writing a book productive instead of doing these crazy stunts?
It's productive.
Interesting.
That would be a much better use of your time. Although, depending on what kind of crazy shit you're going to write in there, I don't even know. But it would be better than just fucking doing faking your death and other bullshit.
It's very interesting, Leo. See, Mr. Eckhart Tolle would say that I'm playing 5D chess. I'm actually already writing the book as we speak. It's going really well. So yeah. Anyway, I'm writing a book. Should be done by tomorrow. I'm excited for it.
Do you understand what I asked of you?
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Okay, can you do that?
Leave your shit.
Can you stop dragging my brand into what you're doing?
It might be.
At the very least, even if you continue doing your ayahuasca and shit, whatever. But can you stop dragging my brand into it?
It might be difficult because my fans love you, but I won't post on your forum anymore.
But don't post about me on your Instagram or wherever the fuck else you post.
Okay, I won't post about you on my Instagram.
Right.
But yeah, man, I appreciate the insights, dude. It's fun to talk with you, and yeah, I'll try and stay under control.
Okay. I'm gonna hold you to that.
Please do. Let me know if I'm doing anything weird. Keep me grounded in reality.
Well, you're gonna be doing something weird, so I'm not gonna let you know that.
Okay.
But you will hear from me if you fail to follow through on your promise of dragging my brand into your antics.
Okay.
And into your teachings and things.
Okay.
Just, your followers know about me already. That can't be changed. What's done is done. But don't add fuel to the fire anymore. All right? So promise me that.
Okay.
You at least owe me that for the teachings that I shared with you over the years.
Absolutely. Oh, I owe you so much, man. Okay. Yeah.
So then at least show me that amount of respect. Because if you don't show me that respect, then we're going to develop an adversarial relationship from here on forward, and there might even be legal consequences for you because I'm not going to just sit around and tolerate this stuff endlessly.
Yeah, no, I got to be careful.
Right? So I would rather not have to develop an adversarial relationship with you, but for that to happen, you have to respect some of my boundaries.
Oh yeah. I do not want any trouble, so I will obey you.
Good. So yeah, just respect people's boundaries. That's rule number 1. That is the golden rule.
Okay, cool. New golden rule. We will respect people.
Even if you have crazy boundaries, that's fine. I respect your boundaries. I'm not taking them away from you, but just notice when your boundaries are crossing mine.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good, man.
Okay. Well, then good luck to you. Stay safe, be careful, and have fun.
All right. Yeah, appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Mr. Leo Gura, I will stop the ayahuasca for approximately 5 minutes. And I am going to spread your truth. Leo Gura is my guru, okay? Oh, are we starting the book now? Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't know if I'm down for that. Should we start the book now? No, I need to sleep. That was good, but we are 54 minutes into the book. I'm writing a 5-hour and 55-minute long book, and this is the first part of it. I can't laugh too much. I want to get as much information in here as possible, but it's a book, it's the Bible, and we're starting it over tomorrow. So I'm going to end at 55 minutes, and we're going to do the rest of the 5 hours in the morning. So I just want to say thank you to Leo Gura. He is my cat guru. He has taught me everything I know. He is actually far more intelligent than me, and he is actually in on the plan. He has just forgotten that he's in on the plan. He has forgotten that he's a divine actor. He has forgotten. But that's part of the plan, do you see? Part of the plan, our plan is to forget so we can remember. That is how we create reality. It is a constant forgetting and remembering all simultaneously at once. But anyway, I will finish this in the morning. I love you guys, and it is unconditional.